What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Back to Life podcast with Nikotjr. I am Nico, your host, and I'm very excited today because guess what? Life is amazing. That's how I want to start it out. We're getting through holidays. We're getting through situations right now in life where a lot of things are happening. The world is finally getting back to normal in regards to just basically everything in the world. I mean, you can travel almost anywhere. You can do what you want to do. So life is amazing. It feels great. Life was amazing, but it feels even better. It's like a bittersweet moment when everything kind of crashed and tumbled and nobody knew what was going on. You didn't know how long these things would last. You didn't know if you'd get stuck somewhere, but now we're good. We can roam freely again, and I love that about life. I love the fact that we can simply choose to do what we want at our own level of commitment. And that brings me to my point in wanting to talking about how positivity needs to be viewed more as a society, because negativity is taking the world by storm. There's this undying and just constant effect of negativity on people from ages ago to this point in our lives, with social media especially at this point, and how we deal with all kinds of different things. And we are just magnifying negativity right now. We are putting negativity on a pedestal almost, to the point where we forget that being positive is okay. You almost feel like you're bragging if you're being positive, when in reality, we should be more grateful. We should be more positive. We should have these moments in our life where we sit there and we reflect on the moments where we did good and we're allowed to feel good about it. And just because you may be in the wrong room doesn't mean you can't express how you feel in a positive way. There's a saying I heard or I read online one day, and it was like, be careful who you share your successes with, because in the wrong room, it can sound like you're bragging. And that hit home. If you are surrounded by the wrong people in your life, you will always be trying to prove to others that you are doing good, but not too good, not too much. Like, it becomes this idea of a constant battle of trying to justify why what you're doing is actually okay, because they may not be at the same level as you. And you have to realize that there comes a point in your life where you're constantly going through these different things. You're doing what you want to do. Then you try a new idea. You try a new business, and you're able to become comfortable with the idea that you want to share it with somebody. And you're like, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to do awesome at this. I can't wait to tell my best friend or my cousin or whoever it may be, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, any family member. And all of a sudden, once you share that information, it gets shot down. And it feels like it just drains and sucks the life out of you. So you have to be careful who you're sharing these moments with, because if you share your moment with the wrong person in the wrong moment, you're going to feel upset with yourself. And you're going to tell yourself, man, I knew it. I shouldn't have told him. I shouldn't have told her. And once you're able to find a core group of people that are able to see positivity in a way that it's not frowned upon. It's not something that, you feel bad when you say it. Then you're around the right type of people. But at the end of the day, you have to find a way to be able to convince yourself as well that positivity is okay, because a lot of times in life, when we're doing these good things, when we're doing great in life and we're making progression and we have progress and things are good, and the key is understanding that you're not better than anybody else. You stay humble in that moment, but you have to pat yourself on the back sometimes. You have to tell yourself you're doing good, because a lot of times we can get so lost in the good moment that we forget that we even know how to do good. And then when one little bad thing happens, all of a sudden we go into this state of a blown up mindset of, I'm no good. I'm no longer good enough. I'm no longer great at what I was doing, because you forgot that you were actually doing what you used to pray about, what you used to dream about, what you actually have been working towards. And then that moment gets taken away by one little bad thing. And I always tell people, always relate it to taking a test in life. If you receive a 98 on a test, you're overjoyed. You're ecstatic. If you get 3 questions wrong on a test out of 50, you're overjoyed. But all of a sudden in life, when we make one small wrong decision, we just become consumed in negativity, and then you're afraid to share it with somebody. You're afraid to tell somebody that this may have gone wrong or you didn't get this right, but that's okay. You've done everything else right to this point. You might have done a few things along the way that you've learned from, but everything in life, I always tell people, man, life is all about lessons. When you take a L, it's a lesson. You're not taking losses. So if you can learn from that moment, you can find a way to progress in a manner that allows you to keep growing in whatever it is, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's with family, friends, or whoever it may be. You have to stay positive in these moments because everything that you're doing leads you to the next moment. And I wrote this in my book one time, and I say everything is a stepping stone, not a set in stone. And the moment you realize that that's what life is about, every opportunity, every relationship, everything you're doing will finally make sense. If you're always questioning yourself, why this, why that, why should I do this, why should I do that, you're always going to be confused, and you're going to build this negative connotation, and subliminally you won't be able to feel okay about trying new things. And trying something new is what will get you to grow. And when you're talking about growth, when you're talking about new things, when you're talking about what may allow you to become the next best version of yourself, you have to have positive self-talk. You have to be able to tell yourself that you are good enough, that you are capable, that you have the power and the grit and the determination to get it knocked out. You have to be the one that pushes yourself. You can't be looking for external factors to constantly hype you up and build you up so that you can do this and you can do that, and all of a sudden you found this in you. No, you're masking this underlying issue, this challenge that you need to overcome, in which you need to promote yourself. You need to praise yourself. You need to tell yourself that you are good enough in these moments so that you can become that person that inspires somebody else, that inspires the next moment, that inspires the next job opportunity, that inspires the next business, that inspires the next book you write, whatever it may be in your life, whatever you are going through, maybe being the best dad in the world, or being the best husband, or the best wife, or the best mom, or the best sister or brother. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to understand that you have to build this on your own. And the moment you can build up this unwavering desire in your heart that just tells you that I can do this, that I am positive, that this will turn out the way it's supposed to turn out, that this will become what it's supposed to become, all of a sudden, you're not crippled by fear. You're not crippled by someone rejecting you. You're not crippled by the idea that you may not be good enough. You're not crippled by the fact that this may not work out in some way, shape, or form. You're inspired, and you're looking for the positive in it. I know it's hard in life. I know we're brought up in a society where, well, you shouldn't do that. You're going to mess up. You're going to stop it. Don't do this. I heard something long ago where it kind of confused me, actually, because it brought so much to life in me. And I realized, I was like, wow, this is real. This is society. And I saw this video, and it said, we encourage children to speak, say dada, say mama, say whatever, say your first word, say it until about the age of 2. And then after 2, we start shushing that child. We start suppressing that child, that creativity. You say this, say that, and then all of a sudden, they're getting in trouble for being too loud. All of a sudden, you're telling them to shut up and sit down because it's too loud because you're watching a movie or you're watching a TV show. And that moment right there told me, it was like, man, what kind of world are we living in that we encourage something so much and that all of a sudden we can sit there and take it away from someone? And a child is at its purest form. It doesn't understand why it has been encouraged for 2 years straight, for 365 days times 2, to speak, and then all of a sudden it's shut up and sit down, you're being too loud. Imagine what that does to a child's mind, but imagine being an adult and having that same effect on yourself. When you think you should be doing something, when you're like, man, I'm going to try this, and then that inner enemy comes out and says, shut up and sit down, you shouldn't do that. You've got to find a way to fight that. You've got to find a way to suppress that enemy, and you've got to push that down and out. Don't just keep it inside of you. You've got to get that out of you. You've got a positive self-talk every day. You've got to tell yourself that you are these things. You are these positive attributes. And find that group of people that will encourage your positivity on a daily basis. And if you're not running with people that are bettering you on a daily basis, you are running around with the wrong folks. You might need to call around. You might need to see who you're really hanging with, because at the end of the day, the people that you surround yourself with will dictate your future. It doesn't matter what you say. But I heard this quote as well one day from an old football coach that I had. He said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's probably the realest thing I've ever heard. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Guess what? Birds of a feather flock together. You've heard all kinds of different sayings. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that none of that matters, that you can be around whoever, and you're going to end up being this person anyway, People that are around each other on a daily basis are going to encourage each other to become like they are. So if your level of friend group, or if your group friend level is elevation, you're going to keep elevating. If you guys are working towards the next big thing, you're going to keep working towards the next big thing. If everybody's sitting around doing nothing, just talking about life and everything is great and we're good and we're going to be content, guess what? You're going to be good and content. And that's just what life comes with. You have to understand that as you get older, as you mature, you have to come to these moments of realization where you have to create that for yourself so that you can go pour into other people, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are hiding your true self, if you are constantly telling people that you should be doing this and you should be doing that, but you're not living out the information and the advice that you're giving, then what are you preaching? And you have to practice what you preach, because at the end of the day, don't be a hypocrite. Practice what you preach. If it makes sense for you to tell somebody else, it makes sense for your life, or else you wouldn't say it. Your true authenticity comes from the heart. Your true feeling of what you want someone to accomplish around you comes from your true heart. When you say, "Oh, now I'm joking," you're not joking. You said it from a truthful place. You said it from a place of authenticity. So if you're around people that are constantly joking about what you want to accomplish, or pushing you down, or not encouraging you to become this great version of you, you need to find a way to be that for yourself, to eliminate those people around you, and then find the people that will stick with you for ages. For as long as you have breath on this earth, for as long as you're able to accomplish things, as long as you're able to open your eyes in the morning, you need to find people that will surround you and encourage you on a daily basis so that you can do the same for them. The law of I don't even know how to say the word, but when you reciprocate, okay, when you reciprocate that feeling towards people, when you allow them to love on you, when you love on them, when you encourage them, when they encourage you, it becomes a team effort. It is a partnership at that point. It is not a take, or a give. You don't have to give out of that empty cup. You don't have to pour from that empty cup anymore. But what you can do is allow yourself to grow in the moments that you're supposed to be growing in with the right people around you. So all in all, my message today for you is find good people. Love on people, focus on positivity, let positivity outweigh negativity in your life. At the end of the day, if you practice positivity for the next 365 days, eventually you're going to forget what it feels like to be negative. That is a reality. We are creatures of habit. Focus on positivity for every day. I mean, every single day that you wake up, just be grateful, be thankful, be positive, encourage yourself, and watch how your life transforms in 1 year. You are capable of so much more. You're so beautifully designed. You've got to understand that your mind and your desire to do things, it comes from a place of you wanting to do things. A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest. Like, this is just basic ways of thinking about life, and you've got to understand that you have to put forth that effort. And once you do, your life will just be just so awesome. That's the best way to put it. And I've done that in my life. I've put myself in positions to where now I can continue to practice what I'm preaching right now in this moment, as I say it on camera, as I say it on a podcast. Like, this isn't just something I'm talking about and not doing. My grateful and thankful walks, me talking to God and just being appreciative of every single moment in life, it is a reality for me, and it transformed my life in ways I cannot even explain. It is unimaginable in how amazing my life is to this point. And I continue to count my blessings, and I will continue to be grateful and thankful for these moments, because everything that I'm doing is based on a positive trajectory. There will be setbacks. There will be things that take you back a step or two, and you may have to take a left or a right, and then you got to find your way around that barricade or that challenge, but you'll overcome it because you're looking at it from a positive perspective. So understand, life is about positivity. You cannot focus on negativity if you want your life to end up positive. Change your mindset, change your way of thinking, change the way you perceive your reality, and allow it to point you into a positive direction and create that positive mindset that will carry over to all kinds of things in your life. Relationships, business, career, whatever it may be. But without further ado, we're going to end out this podcast. I appreciate you listening. Remember, positivity has to overpower negativity. Remember that. Write that down if you need it. I love you. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next podcast.